Hey, what's up guys? Dimitri Scopelliti here. Today we're talking about Mercurial Audio's Tweed and Tweed Bass. So, as you can see here, the interface is more or less the same as the amp box, the previous amp box release/update, but you can see for the first time we have a combo amplifier. So the visual is more from the top of it, and we have all the main controls here on the left as usual, in and out, input volume, output volume, and you can recall all the presets from here. Of course, do your own presets and all this, and then you can actually interact with the amplifier through this panel here. Of course, I did some patches, which you're gonna find on the official release, which is gonna happen probably on October 31st. So you might see this video a little bit later than that date. But you're gonna find my patches, and I did a lot. So according to my accounting, I did around 16. I don't know if all of those are gonna be in the update, or at least on the first update. But I actually did a lot of patches, so we're gonna check the main ones today here. So the first patch I did, it's of course clean, which might be called the Scopelliti T clean, Tweed clean. Here is not a 100% clean, but then it depends also on the input and output level. If you reduce the input on the interface or on the guitar, then it's gonna be a clean. So it's up to you. So here you can see, let's check out this patch. Of course, the preamp I used is the Tweed, and then I have the power amp on and the cabinet. And the cabinet, I changed the cabinet into a mass modern blend. You can choose all the cabinets up here, and you really have a lot. Or you can load in your own impulse response. But you really have a really wide choice here. So then I have some modulation. I have the chorus. I like the def high and the rate low. And the mix might vary from sound to sound. By the way, I'm using an Inspiria Guitars, Inspiria HL8 new series. Also I have reverb, which is really more like the sound of the room. It's not really, the amount of reverb is really low. It's just to get some room sound. And I have some delay, of course, which I like to have it on the arpeggio kind of thing. The next patch is gonna be a clean, dry. So for those who like to play, let's say, blues or funky or whatever kind of music, and they don't like to have too much effect, they can use this. Sometimes it's good to play dry, right? Next one is gonna be a crunch. Let's go with the input volume to 5, which is a standard. So basically the only difference is that I went up a little bit with the drive here. You can see the drive knob and a little bit more volume, and of course I switched to the drive channel, so the distortion channel. And there is a bright, which is basically an extra option to get the sound a little bit more kind of sharp. And the cab basically is the same as almost all the other patches that I did, because it worked with my guitars. Crunch solo basically the same, with a little bit more gain and a little bit brighter probably, and of course more effect. So it's the same like the previous crunch, with the same cab, a little bit of delay, and a little bit of reverb. Then we start getting a little bit more kind of aggressive as far as we can, because remember that this is a vintage amp. This is for mostly for blues, pop, rock. If you're looking for a metal amp, then you might be buying a 6160, which is the 5150 emulation that Mercuriall did some months ago, or the Rectifier. But I did some patches for metal. So now we're getting more into the rock environment with this, which is supposed to be a lead. Okay, now we move more into the metal environment. This is a metal patch. Metal, let's call it vintage metal. Alright, let's keep moving. The next one is a metal lead sound. I think the sound is amazing because even though we pushed the distortion so high, it still keeps sounding clean. And actually, I have to be really honest, sometimes with the high gain amps, you have a lot of gain, you have a lot of, the sound is very aggressive, but you kind of miss this clarity in the sound that you have with this. So I think I'm gonna use this on some of the leads on my new album, let's say. Now we can move to the Tweed Bass. The color is a bit different. The amp kinda looks more simple as well in terms of panel. As on the previous one, you can choose which kind of tubes you want to use. If you want to use the AX7 or the AY7, 12, AX7 of course. Basically you have a clean amp, but the only way to get the distortion is to go up with volume. But of course, here on the left panel here, you have everything that you need to make noise with it. So we start with the first one, which is marked as the Mercuriall BM Clean, and that's basically clean. Very, very clean. That's why the volume is just on 1, because as soon as you go up with volume, the amps start to sound distorted, which is good. Crunch. Really dry crunch. For solos. Alright fellas, now we go to bass, and for doing this demo I'm using a brand new Inspiria DLP4 bass guitar, alright? Let's go back to us. This is the first bass patch that I did for Mercuriall, and that's only because this amp, which is the Tweed Bass, in the beginning was thought and built for bass, but then a lot of people figured out it was sounding amazing with the guitar, actually even better than the bass. So, but I made some patches which are useful for those of you who are working, doing recording home, you know, and all those kind of things, because a lot of times you need to demo bass, or maybe you need a bass part for an album, whatever. Now you have some patches that you can use just like this. Alright, this is the clean bass. It's a clean bass, so as you can see here in the screen, basically there is nothing. There's just a little bit of reverb, which might be just the sound of the room, But you can add a little bit of modulation. Let's say you want to add like a little bit of chorus to play something like that. Let's say here on the output, we can reduce the output to have it a little bit cleaner, not clipping, which is clipping just in listening, not in input. Let's add a little bit of rate. Maybe not that much. Speed, let's call it speed. Let's go to the next patch, which instead it's a little bit more crunchy. See how I did this patch. There is a little bit of overdrive here, which is a grid smasher with low gain, high level and high tone, so very open and sharp. And let me see, the cab, I use the Mesa Boogie Creamy Blend from the list here. And then I have a little bit of EQ in post in order to make it a little bit more tight. Let's see the last one, which is a metal bass distortion patch for heavy stuff. What's the composition of this patch? Gate, very important to reduce this. dynamics for compression, overdrive, not drive, maximum level, maximum tone. But we have a distortion pedal, which is the RAT, R-A-T. And then we have basically the cab, which is Mesa Boogie Modern Blend from the list. And then we have a little bit of reverb. So those are basically 15/16 patches that I did for Mercurial. So basically, Mercurial Audio, they did it again. They delivered a great product that actually was the missing part of the puzzle. Now basically we have all kinds of amplifier in the amp box. We have high gain, we have lower gain, we have classic, and we have vintage stuff. So basically the amp box is everything that you need to make your own recording at a really high professional level, all right? So thank you very much. I see you online. Cheers.